I'm proud of Ghana, I'm proud of the whole of Africa. But there's something special about Nigeria.
Let's call this a feedback video. The really interesting Ghanaians are coming for Dr. Caesar and they're not very, very pleased.
We as black people, we share something in common. The problem that we have as black people, whether we are Nigerians or Ghanaians, is that black people do not know how to manufacture anything. Nigeria has the largest gas reserve in Africa and number 9 in the world. So we have enough gas to industrialize the whole of Africa. I am not saying that Nigerians are better than Ghanaians, but the point I'm making is that if we want to start the process of industrializing Africa, is to start from Nigeria. When they had a factory there, every week people will come, where are your papers? And that is why when you go to Accra, within 1 year, Nigerians have taken over the entire place. It will take the Ghanaian government to chase the Nigerian out again, say, oh, you don't have visas. Ghanaians are very many in Nigeria. Who cares? Nobody in Nigeria will say, oh, Ghanaians, where are your documents? I have more than 4 Ghanaians working for me. They don't have any paper. Nigeria is so huge that if you bring 10 million Ghanaians here, we won't even know they are here. I don't want them to take it as if I'm insulting them. I'm not. I'm just stating the truth.
Welcome to the official social media platform of Dr. Caesar. Thank you for all of the engagement. TikTok, Facebook, YouTube has been massive engagement. Some videos that we posted last week is been eliciting some very serious comments. Let's call this a feedback video. Dr. Caesar wants to respond to some of those comments. The really interesting Ghanaians are coming for Dr. Caesar and they're not very, very pleased with some of the comments we made. Of course, you were really not denigrating Ghanaians. You were just you just made that statement in reference to explain some other points. And interestingly, some of them actually agree with. So I just read some of these comments and let's see the much response that you would have for them. We have Frank Okeyere says, if we are lazy, how come we keep our lights on and it doesn't take lazy people to keep water running 24/7? So it's obviously taking a shade at Nigerians. So Eve Gates says, Ghana and funeral are 5 and 6. Then Faith is funny says, please Ghanaians, instead of criticizing the man, prove him wrong. The things he said, are they right or wrong? That's Faith. Sahelian. He says, you can look at all the investments and investors in Ghana, including Nigerian businesses thriving in Ghana, for that answer. Mrs. Shashun says, we Ghanaians are not lazy. We have priorities. Work is not all. Family life, social life also counts. If we work all the day away, when we will spend that money? We are just content even with little. Okay, quite a very civil defense there. And please, I want to appeal to all our followers on social media. Please, let's try as much as possible to keep the engagement civil. We have a lot of very uncivil comments here. We're not going to read them, obviously. So we can disagree without necessarily vilifying and going personal. And so that's just an appeal. Uzo Mabel says, that's why quick loan is their savior. If Ghana government cancels quick loan, I swear beggars go plenty for Ghana. Okay, Rick says, Ghana has become cheap. Everyone wake up and insult us. Dove says, I have a funeral. You're laughing with the emoji. Then Chop You says, mention your company name. Then Joe says, it is not true. If you pay us anyhow, we will work for you anyhow. Okay, this user without a name says, that is the reason if Nigerians are rich, they will say it's money ritual. Mr. Singo says, you don't get it. Ghanaians have their own strategies when they are working, so they can benefit so that the work can delay. Okay, Mr. Singo is basically saying that it's just the Ghanaian strategy of getting more money.
Okay, first off, I want my Ghanaian brothers and sisters to understand that we as black people, we share something in common. We have the same problem. The problem that we have as black people, whether we are Nigerians or Ghanaians, is that black people do not know how to manufacture anything. Nothing is manufactured by black people in Africa. Well, in America and Europe, under white leadership, you can find where black people are participating in industrial manufacturing. The challenge is that with our leadership, what have we been able to achieve industrially as black people? The answer is nothing. And that is why my program is always centered on industrial manufacturing, because that is the only way we'll be able to stand and gain respect from white people. At the moment, among the races, the white race, the Asian race, whether they are Indians or Chinese or Japanese, and then the black race, we are at the bottom of the ladder. Not just the bottom, the far, far, far bottom, the least that you can ever get. And the only way we'll be able to prove to ourselves and get respect from white people is when we start industrial manufacturing. And that can only start from Nigeria for two reasons. Number one, Nigeria has the largest gas reserve in Africa and number 9 in the world. So we have enough gas to industrialize the whole of Africa. Number two, Nigeria has a population of 250 million people. And a people that is very, very anxious to work, full of energy. My reference to Ghanaians is that my experience in Ghana is that you tell Ghanaians, let's do some extra work, they'll say no. If you tell the Nigerian, let's do some extra work, they'll say, how much are you giving me? When you say, I'm giving you X, Y, you say, let's go. That spirit is what is present in Nigeria. I have Ghanaians working for me today in Nigeria. They know that they can't compete with Nigerians in terms of the spirit of we can get this thing done by any means, by making sacrifice. I'm not saying that Nigerians are better than Ghanaians. What I'm saying is that from my experience, Nigerians are more willing to absorb difficulties, absorb shock, and be able to look forward to the future, always hopeful. We believe that Africa is going to get better. It's not going to get better by praying, it's going to get better by industrialization. That is why everything I talk about is about industrialization. And what is industrialization? Is the ability to take raw material, the elements, from zero, add value to it, to a point where there will be an exponential increase in value. You produce cocoa in Ghana right now, and the cocoa is shipped to Europe, they turn it to chocolate, and the value is increased exponentially. But in the case of Nigeria, we are talking of producing crude oil and exporting. We are even importing finished products. It's only recently that Dangote started its refinery process, and that has saved Nigeria a lot of foreign exchange. Because the foreign exchange of Nigeria, 40% of it was spent on importing refined petroleum products. Gas, as you know it, can flow to anywhere, can flow from here to Europe. So if you can flow from here to Europe, it can also flow from Nigeria to Ghana. But if you want to take a gas line from Nigeria to Ghana, it will cost billions of dollars. But imagine if you had the ability to melt iron. You take iron ingot, which is just about $300 per ton. Bring it from Europe, from Ukraine, from Russia, or from Australia. You bring it in, and you melt it and add other alloys to it. You can easily make a pipe at a very competitive rate. If you import all those pipes, it will cost billions of dollars just to take a pipeline of gas from Nigeria to Ghana. However, if you have enough capacity to generate electricity in Nigeria at a particular location, you can easily bring in iron ingots, melt it, and roll it into a pipe, and you can easily do it at a very cheap rate and take gas to Ghana or to other African countries. But in the meantime, how do you begin? How do you start it? It is not enough to just sit down and say, Africa is doomed. Africa is not doomed. It is our way of thinking that is doomed. If we wake up and start thinking properly, we can get this done. Something that can happen within 1.5 years or so, if you start immediately. Because in those days, if you want to build a huge plant that can generate about 2,000 megawatts or 3,000 megawatts, it might take 10 years to do. But you can do this now in a year, in less than a year, because you have modules. Each power plant is about 22 to 32 megawatts rating. It's mounted on a trailer. Just buy the refurbished second-hand, $1,500,000. If you buy 20, you buy 30, you buy 100. If you buy 100, for example, times 22, you're already having over 2,000 megawatts. So if you have that, you can start industrial manufacturing because you synchronize all. Put the factory exactly where the plant generating power is. Step 2, whatever you want to produce, I always advocate everything should be done at the shoreline where you have a port, so that when you are bringing in iron ingots, it will come on the ship, discharged right there. The gas is right at the shoreline. You produce your iron there. If it is aluminum you want to produce, you bring in bauxite from Guinea. It will arrive there at the port. The plant generating electricity will be right there at the port. You produce electricity there, melt the iron there, or for example, use that electricity to produce aluminium from bauxite right there at the port. The quantity that you do not need to consume in your country will go back on the ship again for export to generate dollars. It's a very simple process. Whatever you need for your consumption should be taken inland by rail. And the same plant can make your railway track. You don't have to import it anymore. You want to take gas from here, from the shoreline in Nigeria to the furthermost part of Nigeria in the north, you melt the iron and make a pipe. You take the pipeline from there all the way to any destination in Nigeria or any destination in Africa at a very inexpensive rate. So you have passed one step. With the gas, you generate power. After you have power, you bring in the plant and machinery at the shore, at the port. The advantage of doing that is that when you produce what you cannot consume, you export. This third hurdle is who are the people to operate those machineries. You bring in the best people from China, the best people from India, and the best people from Europe to mount the plant. And you start to manufacture whatever you choose to manufacture. At that point, the process of industrialization has begun. when you look at it, from one product to another is just one step away. Because you have the basic ingredients that is needed for manufacturing already. So there's nothing complicated about this thing at all. It's just for you to have the will, which I believe we do. If we have that, all this talk about Nigeria exporting oil, that will be happening just by the side. Because the increment in terms of value added is so huge that the iron that you will bring in that will cost you $300 per ton, with 10 tons, you can make 3 cars. Imagine all you need to do is to melt the iron. We are still talking about internal combustion engine. You want to make an engine, you cast the engine block, you cast the crankshaft. From there, you take it to machine tool and you machine. People that are doing it in Europe, you bring them here, you bring the machinery here. What on earth will make it impossible for it to happen? Can you tell me? Nothing. It must happen. What is lacking is the will. Because the very important ingredient that is needed, you already have it and you are standing on it. Gas. No other country in Africa, except maybe 1 or 2 other countries that have it. But they don't have the population. They don't have the population that has the zest and the razzmatazz to do the job. Let me tell you, the Ghanaians, they know. They know. When I was in Ghana, I realized that every 1 or 2 years, they will have to chase all Nigerian traders away. It happens all the time because they can't compete with Nigerians. You walk into a shop in Ghana, whether it's at Magazine or anywhere in Accra, you walk into a shop. And the Ghanaian entrepreneur, he'll be looking at you. He's already annoyed that you didn't greet him. Walk into the shop of a Nigerian. As you are coming, you say, "Oga, welcome. You want to drink water? Here, see cocoa, see Fanta. May I buy beer for you?" You have not bought anything yet. Oh. He's looking at you, the way you are dressed. He knows that you have some money in your pocket and you want to buy something. So the Nigerian man knows that already. And that is why when you go to Accra or anywhere in Ghana where traders are trading, within 1 year, Nigerians have taken over the entire place. It will take the Ghanaian government efforts to chase Nigerians out again, say, "Oh, you don't have visas, Nigeria must go." They will chase them out. After a year or two, they will return again and take over the whole market again, all because of attitude. Not that we are stronger than Ghanaians, it's attitude. The Nigerian man is ready to spend all his time to do business to succeed. The Ghanaians are relaxed people. They like to enjoy themselves. There's something wrong with that. I am not saying that Nigerians are better than Ghanaians at all. We are not better. We are all the same. But the point I'm making is that if we want to start the process of industrializing Africa, is to start from Nigeria. When it starts from Nigeria, it will spread to other parts of Africa. And Ghanaians will benefit from it. So I don't want them to take it as if I'm insulting them. I'm not. I'm just stating the truth, the way I observe it. I have observed it. They know that. If they are not aware, those that are not aware should go and check the trading system there. It takes time. They have to chase Nigeria after some time because Nigeria will dominate everywhere. They have to chase them out. Say, "Where are your papers?" Ghanaians are very many in Nigeria. Who cares? Nobody in Nigeria will say, "Oh, Ghanaians, where are your documents?" I have more than 4 Ghanaians working for me. They don't have any papers. Nobody cares. Because they are black people. We don't care. We see them as the same. We don't even know if like you bring 10 million Ghanaians and put them in Nigeria. Nobody will even know they are here. When I had a factory there, every week people will come. Where are your papers? The Nigerians say, you have overstayed your welcome here, you must go back. You know that. Nigeria, we don't care. Nigeria is so huge that if you bring 10 million Ghanaians here, we won't even know they are here. But over there, they are very bothered. Oh, Nigerians are taking over our businesses and all that. Then they will chase them out. After some time, Nigerians will come back again. I don't know what they are doing there because I have left. I'm not going back. I've seen that nothing compares with Nigeria. I went to South Africa. I went to Tanzania. Nothing compares to Nigeria. I'm very, very proud of Nigerians. I'm proud of Ghana. I'm proud of the whole of Africa. But there's something special about Nigeria that we don't know. Go to America and see. Nigerians, they dominate. What I'm saying is that if our leadership will just wake up and light that fire so that Africa can rise. I want Africa, not just Nigeria, I want Africa to rise. Because Nigeria will provide that fuel that will make Africa to rise. Because if Nigeria can get involved in industrial manufacturing, to send gas to Ghana will be very easy. Because once you can bring in this iron ingot, you need electricity to melt it down into liquid form to make whatever you want to make. And one of the things that we will make is to make the pipe that will take gas to Ghana so they can have their own industrial manufacturing that I'm talking about. They need that gas to melt the iron so we can make a railway track. What is in a train is all iron. So the moment we are able to melt the element, we can make all things. We can make iron, we can make a train, we can make cars. Once you can produce aluminium, you can make an aeroplane. Aeroplane is 95% aluminum. I know there are other things in there. People that want to be clever will say, how can you say aeroplane is aluminum? I also tell you that a car is iron because it's predominantly iron. There are other elements, there are other things that will be there. But the point is this. Take Innocent Motors, for example. Innocent Motors, I think for the past, how many years now? I don't know. They have been assembling vehicles. To take it one step further, the government has not been able to encourage them to do that. Innocent came in with about 19 Chinese expatriates when they started assembling their vehicles. Now they have less than 2 because it didn't take 2 years for Nigerians to learn how to do it. And that is the point. The moment we can melt the element, we have enough electricity to melt the element. You bring in the machinery and the expatriates. If they work with us for 5 years, Nigerians will learn how to do it and will not need them anymore. Just like the way the Chinese do not need foreigners anymore to run their factories. That is the way Nigerians are. And that is what I'm talking about. That is why all I talk about is industrial manufacturing. That is my subject. Because it's the way for Africa to rise, for Africa to wake up. At the moment, we are ranked at the very bottom of the racial ladder. You have white people, Caucasians, you have Indians, you have Chinese, you have Japanese, and then you have black people. We are a distant number 5, very, very distant, the last of the last. And I do not believe that white people are better than us in any way. What we lack is a focus. If we have the focus, you will see that within a short time, Africa, starting with Nigeria, will begin a process of a revolution that will shock white people. But at the moment, we are just sleeping. We need to wake up from our slumber. And the way to wake up is to start this industrial manufacturing process. If it happens, it will benefit the whole of Africa, and black people will gain dignity. Because right now, we have no respect in the world, but we are full of pride. Yet, we are nothing. I tell you this, and it's unfortunate. If white people decide to wipe Africans out of Africa, can we stop them? No, we cannot. If black people decide to go and wipe Americans out of America, can we do that? No. Can we wipe Chinese out? No. Can we wipe the Indians out? No. Can they wipe us out? Yes. What is the difference? Industrial manufacturing. That is the only difference. So we need to wake up. I will continue to preach this message. I will continue to harp upon it that we need to industrialize. That is our savior. Nothing else. All we talk about now is religion. We need to add science to religion. When we say God is omniscience, that means that God knows everything. Omniscience. Omniscience is a word with two syllables. Omniscience. So you cannot separate religion from science. If you focus on only one, you will remain at the very bottom. I'm proud of Ghana, I'm proud of the whole of Africa. But there's something special about Nigeria.
Let's call it a feedback video. The really interesting Ghanaians are coming for Dr. Caesar and they're not very, very pleased.
We as black people, we share something in common. The problem that we have as black people, whether we are Nigerians or Ghanaians, is that black people do not know how to manufacture anything. Nigeria has the largest gas reserve in Africa and number 9 in the world. So we have enough gas to industrialize the whole of Africa. I am not saying that Nigerians are better than Ghanaians, but the point I'm making is that if we want to start the process of industrializing Africa, is to start from Nigeria. When they had a factory there, every week people will come, where are your papers? And that is why when you go to Accra, within 1 year, Nigerians have taken over the entire place. It will take the Ghanaian government to chase the Nigerian out again, say, oh, you don't have visas. Ghanaians are very many in Nigeria. Who cares? Nobody in Nigeria will say, oh, Ghanaians, where are your documents? I have more than 4 Ghanaians working for me. They don't have any papers. Nigeria is so huge that if you bring 10 million Ghanaians here, we won't even know they are here. I don't want them to take it as if I'm insulting them. I'm not. I'm just stating the truth.